What up, guys? I just wanted to hop on here before we go through this episode. I know in last week we said that Sean Rose with Rose Metalworks was going to be on site for the 2026 Hangout. Unfortunately, he will not be able to make it to the show, but we are still donating to spreading the love. Still looking forward to having a good show. Hopefully we can catch up with him later in the year or maybe at a future event. But just wanted to clarify that. Now let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout podcast.
Whoop whoop.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
And tonight we got Jonah Garnhardt. What's going on, man?
It's going good. How are you, Matt?
Oh, just living a dream. So what
Awesome.
what originally got you into this crazy car world?
I would probably say it all started watching my dad grow up and my grandpa frame off a 48 Impala convertible. And then my dad was messing around with Jeeps and his 79 Camaro and all this other stuff. And then watching my older brother do what he did with some of his square bodies and all that stuff. And then racetrack, going every Sunday to the local track, and I kind of just grabbed onto it and never let go from a young age.
And have you always been more leaning on the rat rod side of things, or are you a converted shiny paint guy? Or
Growing up, it was kind of like shiny, and then watching all these shows on TV where they take trash to something beautiful. I would say where I got converted to the doesn't have to look good, just get it running, probably 8 or so years ago. I would say when that all kind of like that roadkill inspired, kind of just get it going and everything.
Yeah, don't get it right.
When
get
I
it
kind
running.
of exactly. You can get it going as you're building it, but you can enjoy it, not stick it into a garage for 20 years and then never get it going.
Well, and then you sell it to somebody that wants to take over a project halfway through it, and then they have to struggle with trying to find the missing parts. And sounds like I have that going on right now, don't it? That's my Cadillac, man.
Same here.
Took over in the middle of the build, and it's awesome. It's going to be awesome, but it's like, oh, where'd that piece go? Or wonder where those screws went.
Yeah, I get that with my builds that I'm doing now.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially like for us, I don't get to go out there every night. Normally, I don't get to go out there every night. So it might be 2 or 3 days. And it's like, where am I at? What am I doing? You try to get to a hard stopping point so you can pick up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Up here it's kind of weather permitting kind of thing. If it's cold out, you don't want to be outside.
You're right. That's and a lot of y'all in the high class trash are up north ways.
Up in the Midwest. Yeah.
A lot of y'all are kind of centralized there. So it's cool, but also it's like, oh man, because y'all's car community differs in the fact that, like you said, it gets cold, you put stuff up or you can't work on it, or uh, but then us, we have a show next weekend. Our show season never stops. So
Yeah. Up here, it kind of starts about March or April is when it starts doing the shows and everything, like with the Gopher Association. That's kind of our first show in Minnesota. And then it goes from there as it gets warmer.
yeah, like our anniversary show is January 3rd. So yeah, that's our show starts the year off. Our show's always the first weekend of the year. So our weather will be better, man. I don't know if you can get a car. I don't know if you can get a car out with what's going to be on the ground January 3rd in Minnesota, but
yeah,
trailer down here, come hang out in warmer weather.
Yeah, no crap.
What is a show or event that you try to make every year?
The show that I tried to attend every year is Back to the 50s. I try to do that. It started. I think I first went there in. It was either 19 or 18 was the first time I went to Back to the 50s just to walk around and stuff. And then I went back this last year because I was gonna take. I applied to get my truck in, didn't get it done. So me and a buddy were like, "All right, it's already paid for. I got the tickets, so I might as well go for the 3 days."
So, what class for the build off are you in?
I'm in the newbie,
Okay.
so I'm in the bottom tier,
All right. Well,
which is it's fine with me. I
I wouldn't say
understand why you
bottom
put
tier,
me
man,
there.
because
No, it's every class is going to be great
oh
with the guys that are stacked in there.
yes,
It's going to be a good show, I
oh
believe.
definitely. Is there a show or event that you've never made that you would like to get to?
I there's two actually. I've yet to be to Ratstock because everything it just something comes up. Like last year, I was gonna go, but then my cousin was getting married. Couldn't make both, so I chose my cousin's wedding. And I'd like to attend Rats on the Plates. I want to make it out there. It's Mitchell, Wyoming. No, Nebraska. Sorry,
Okay.
Mitchell, Nebraska.
So
That's
you've been fully embraced the rat rod stuff.
yes.
All right, cool. What newbie? That's you have 5,000, right? Or 2,500?
5,000.
25.
It's 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what?
newbies are 5,000. Then it's 75,
75,
and then
10, and
10.
then as deep as your pockets want to go.
Alt limit. Yeah.
Uh, so what's the ideas for the build? What ideas can you share?
Well, what I have is it was pretty much a stalled project.
Okay.
I bought the car in March of 20, built it for a year or so, and then it kind of just stalled out because didn't know what I wanted to do with it and what I wanted to look like. So I have a 53 Plymouth sedan.
Okay.
And that's like it's a 2 year body. So, and then I want to stay with the inline six. So I put in a Jeep 4 liter with a 5 speed. Kind of brings me back to high school. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 97. So I bought a donor vehicle, an XJ, and took the drivetrain, everything out from wiring from taillight to headlight, and then sold what was left. Got the car out of Watertown, South Dakota, and it was parked in a cattle pasture, rockers deep. So I got that home after I sold the donor, and then started taking it apart. Got the motors running, and then I wanted to do a 4-wheel drive on to it, so that I could have the transfer case and everything. So at first I was gonna do a AMC Eagle,
Okay.
front and rear. Then when I was getting to thinking, I was like, how hard is it gonna get the parts gonna be able to find? Am I gonna be able to road trip it and find parts? So then I ended up on a fourth gen Explorer chassis. So it's independent all the way around, front and rear.
Okay.
So it's got the inline six to a 5-speed that'll go to the Explorer axles.
And are you full wheel drive? With it being full wheel drive, are you going to try to keep it low, or are you going to try to make it more like the Bulletproof Garage 53? Or
No, not that big. Where it's right now, it's sitting 3 inches over the frame, and I don't like the look of it. It's not looking right. So I at least want it to be level with the chassis.
okay,
So the floor will be at the chassis, or at least an inch tubing higher than the chassis.
you're not going up or down with suspension. You're just getting the body to sit right on there.
Sit right, and then go from there.
Okay.
Make the motor and everything fit in the chassis. Make sure the body looks good. I can fit both rows in there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a family car, so you got to make sure everybody's comfortable.
To a point.
So
I mean,
the seats are out of. Sorry, what?
I said to a point.
So the seats are out of the Explorer also.
I mean, comfort is, it's comfort is it's a sliding scale.
It's relative.
It's a sliding scale. If as long as you fit. I mean,
as long as you fit and are comfortable for a few hours at least, if you're going to road trip and stuff.
Well, and it's also comfort for us. We'll deal with bullshit. Comfort for significant others that may not be as down or chitlin.
Yeah.
They're already antsy just for a road trip, more or less, trying to fit them in a half-size seat box area.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Jeep driveline, Explorer chassis. I'm just going to channel the body down. Plymouth body.
Yeah.
And just going to channel the body down to make it look decent. And then.
Yeah. Well, the floor is on the chassis originally.
Right.
So it's not going to be that dramatic. It'll just probably sit a little higher than stock.
Yeah, because the Explorer's
the track width is a little wider.
Oh yeah, yeah. New
vehicles. If I would do it, if I was gonna do it again, I'd go third gen because it's a little skinnier. It's a 1/4 inch with the fourth gen compared to the Plymouth.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a single cab long wheelbase S10 is within like 3/4 of an inch of a 54 Chevrolet. Because I thought about swapping Ashley's onto a S10 chassis just to be able to get the better suspension. And then I started looking into what it takes to chassis swap them.
Chevy. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know what?
48 Chevy truck.
I'm like, you know what? That it's already on a S10. It already has an S10 rear end, so it got rid of the torque tube and then an S10 5-speed.
Okay.
which that's coming out, and she's getting the motor and trans that I was building for my Model A. So
Okay.
Caddy came, Model A left, and then I just have this motor that I already went through, and it's like, oh, it needs a home. And she wants an automatic in her car
Yeah.
anyway, so it's like, oh, look. And then like all good cars, it got close enough to a motor to realize that the motor was for it, and now it's throwing a temper tantrum. Never had a problem out of the car
Okay.
until
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah, it's getting that motor, and then all of a sudden now it doesn't want to run, it doesn't want to act right. So you said that you didn't make it with the truck. Tell us about the truck.
So it's a 48 Chevy truck, and so I built this truck for the rat rod build off. Didn't make it, but I still built it anyways. So it's a 48 Chevy, and I took the front that I took off the Plymouth section and the rear section that I cut off the Plymouth and kind of hourglassed it to fit around the cab. And then it's got an Oldsmobile 350 with a 375 transmission and a Oldsmobile B body rear end on airbags in the rear. And the whole idea of it is to do tap truck with it, so do events and everything, and be licensed out of Tap Truck USA to do events with beverages and beer and everything out of it. So that'll be next year to get that all finalized. It's got a bench seat, low as can be, because it didn't have to C-notch it or anything. It's, you can't even get the jack to slide under it to jack it up. It's that low.
So it's almost low enough.
Exactly. Just low enough to drag something.
Yeah, that's it, it's so awesome because you see vehicles and you're like, if that was just a little bit lower, that would be like 10 times cooler. And
Yeah.
but then doing it correctly, because like Ashley's 54, it's a 210 and it was not done correctly. The exhaust is under all the cross members, so it's the first thing to drag on everything, and it's like,
Okay, yeah.
like I could have, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do the exhaust, and then I'm like, oh, it's gonna get an automatic, and in order to put an automatic in it, it's got to get a different motor, so I'll do the exhaust after, and then it's like, yeah, I don't really want to tear it apart because, like we were talking about earlier, you don't have time between shows. So it's like you get it together and then you're like, I don't really want to tear it apart. It's running and driving. I don't mind a stick shift.
Not broke, don't fix it.
So but now that the Cadillac's coming along and that's going to be her car, strictly her car, she wants an automatic, so she'll get an automatic. And apparently the car wants an automatic too, because like I said, it's throwing a hell of a temper tantrum. But the Cadillac's LS4 L60 air ride, something cool's coming for it, but internet can't know that yet. So that's the one thing about this is like I get exciting stuff and I can't talk about it because then it's like, oh, what if I don't make it? Or what if something happens and then I feel bad that I didn't make it? Like we found out about the rat rod build off, and I was like, oh man, that would have been so cool. But I was already doing the Cadillac for a build off, and it's like, well, I can't do two cars at the same time. So
yeah, this one's kind of my redemption for the first one.
Well, I think he's doing it right with giving more time.
Exactly.
Because with it being, and this happens regardless, if you put a time frame on something, you get it done and you're like, oh, I'm like a weekend away. But then you're one bad weather day away from that not being the case. You're a part, I've Cadillac's been ready to plug the ECU in for a month and a half, but I keep finding like, oh, well, I need this, or, oh, and it's stupid stuff where, oh, the wires need to be 8 inches longer. And it's like, well, do I stretch this out or do I modify where I'm mounting that at? Oh, well, I'll modify that. Well, in order to do that, now you get this. So your 1 weekend turned into a month. And now, and that's what happened. You hear that a lot, especially with the rat stock build off. And I'm assuming that the closer y'all get to the end of y'all's builds, the more it'll be like, oh yeah, I'm right there, close, I'm online. And then all of a sudden you're a week out or the night before and you're like, oh crap, it just should have flex plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it makes the stories, and it seems like there's a great group of guys that, yes, it's a competition, but it's not so much so that people are going to be like not wanting people to make it.
Yeah, like up here with everybody, I could probably call on half of them and be like, I need help. And they'd be able to at least give me something, whether it's physical or like, yeah, we can figure something out.
And that's the thing is a lot of times, especially with the class you're in, there's a lot of knowledge in your class, but you may not have ran into this issue yet, and somebody in the blue collar or the OG or the outlaw class deals with it. They deal with cars every day. Well, now all of a sudden that problem's, you're beating your head against the wall, and they're like, well, hey, flip it around and mount it upside down, and oh, look, it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when, because you're not putting it back the way it was designed. It didn't have a Jeep motor in it.
Something. So. Yeah, because the Jeep motor is I think is 6 inches longer than the flat 6 that came in it. So, but no, it's got a good start on it from when I stopped.
Yeah.
It's got to get farther and figure out how am I going to fit the wheels and how am I going to make that 3 inches look natural and going down and everything.
Yeah. Well, I think that, but I don't know specifically looking at it or without looking at it, but I imagine just getting the body over the frame, you shouldn't have too much difficulties with it getting in the wheel wells or anything like that. You might got to gut the back of it a little bit, but
yeah, so how I did it was my buddy had a hoist. So we did the rear first, got that welded in. And then once I got the front, wheeled it out to the street. City didn't like that for a few days, but cut it, welded it, pushed it back in the garage, and that's how I did it. And I didn't get it right the first time.
No.
Because it was in pieces, so I had the rear section and then the front section. So, and it was within a few inches off, so you cut it, move it, straight, weld it back.
Yeah, and that's the one good thing about metal is you can always take a little bit more off. And if you go a little bit far, you can always add a little bit back.
Exactly.
With talking about this, because I've never had shiny stuff, or I've never had anything like I cared that it was straight or rust free, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, cut it, then cut a patch panel that matches the cut, and then weld it in.
Yeah. He's
like, get it sort of close. We can make it. We can make it smooth. Just get it sort of close. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm gonna cut this out now. It's Stop being a pussy. Just
my
cut it.
buddy
It'll be
said
all right.
just metal.
Well, but you get, and I know that you're probably in the same boat. Like, you see some of these guys, and it's like, man, how did that even, in your head, you knew exactly where that metal was going to fold and cut, and you knew if you cut here, here, and here, it was automatically going to lay it. Like, I'm like, especially like anybody that chops anything that's not a Model A, and you're like, that sail panel, how did you know that those 3 cuts were going to make it where it matched back up again? Or guys that, especially old school guys that didn't have the technology that we have now, and you see them like go over and flip a gas welding bottle over and beat it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, so that's now a fender. That's cool.
They use it. They bend the metal and everything off the oxygen tank.
Yep. And or making tools. I come from diesel industry, and it was, I don't have that wrench. You make it. And seeing some of these guys with their, taking power hammers and making a tool to make the tool that they need. And it's like, just the amount of, and the innovation that you're starting to see out of guys like yourself in this build off, the newbies or the blue collar guys, seeing some of the stuff that y'all are hearing about, what y'all are coming up with. I think it's going to be a good time. And I don't think that, I'm not calling anybody out, but some of them big dogs, I don't think that they should sit on their morals, because I think some of y'all are going to come with some pretty cool shit too. So, and there's some talented guys up in the OG or the outlaw class and the OG class. I'm not trying to take nothing away from them, but some of the stuff that hasn't made the podcast with a few people I've talked about, and it's like, okay, all right, can't wait to see that work. And maybe it don't work. Maybe 6 months from now, I'm going to get a message in Messenger and be like, hey, man, I'm glad I didn't say that, because that ain't happening.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that y'all are doing, some of the stuff y'all are doing hasn't been done yet. So you kind of got to push it. And also, that's kind of why I dig the rat rod stuff, or the more rattier side of stuff, is because it doesn't have to be perfect. Y'all aren't spending a month trying to get that sail panel perfect. Does it go together? Does it look semi-straight?
Yep. Creativity, yeah.
Cool. Whereas, could y'all spend extra time and make it right? Yeah, but is it necessary? No. And some of the outrageous, Simon, which he's coming on soon, but he was talking about, he used an Expedition as a donor car on the rat stock build, and it's like the hinges off the Expedition are a suicide hinges, and this, and it's like literally just using what you have and coming up with some pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing that I like about it, is either it works or it don't. You get burnt or you make it work.
So are you going to go with an aggressive tire to kind of show off the 4-wheel drive, or are you going to go more street tire on a decent rim or steel?
I'm either going to do steel rims, or I got some wider ones that I picked up back in the day when I was running them on my minivans. It was pretty good. They're like mud tires on a minivan.
Okay.
But I got those. They're a little wider. They're probably like an 8-inch off with an offset. So either way, I could go the classic way, where steelies and a 16 with a hubcap, or do the black ones with the offset. So kind of in the air, kind of how depends on how I'm going to do the rear and to cover the tire and everything.
Yeah. You said earlier that it was just you building it, but do you got a group of guys that are kind of coming along for the ride, or are they just...
Not really. It's kind of it's been by myself mainly. Yeah, I got nothing impressive. I stick weld everything. I
Hey,
have a gravel driveway and a gravel
as long as it holds together.
garage.
I
Exactly.
I don't have a huge garage either, man. I got a carport. I don't even
Exactly.
technically have a garage. It's dealing with what you
I
got, man.
got a 20 by 20 garage and then the driveway. I only have the Plymouth is in the garage, and I got the truck sitting outside, and then my wife's Pontiac is sitting outside.
We have a 20 by 24 carport with a 15 by 24 section where my tools and stuff can sit. And then her car sits outside. Cadillac sits under the carport. And then the dailies and the tow pig.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see. It really is. It's amazing to see what ideas and what stuff come out of garages that look similar to yours. You know, it's kind of showing people you don't have to have a 5,000 square foot shop to have something cool.
You don't have to have the best stuff to be creative. You just have to have the will and the people around you to bounce off ideas. Everybody needs a mentor. I got one of those in town, an old man.
Is your wife into the car stuff, or does she just tolerate it?
She tolerates it for the most part. She wasn't really into it until I came along. And then she'll go to the junkyard with me and tolerate it. The only thing she doesn't like is the mess and the tools that I lay around. Neither does the city, but I try to keep them satisfied.
Yeah, Ashley's my little organizer. So she always jokes that I'm 95% car. She's like 75%. So there's times that she's like, nope, I'm good. But she always keeps me organized. That's part of this too. It's like, what am I doing? Just tell me what I'm doing. Point me in a direction, and I'll, So, but it is always easier when your significant other takes a little bit of enjoyment in what we do too.
Yeah, that's her with the Pontiac. That's hers, I guess. I just have to build it.
What is it?
It's a 69 Pontiac Custom S sedan with the overhead inline six.
Okay.
So like the rare, because the Custom S was a 1 year. You don't see the inline six anymore. You don't see many sedans either.
Have you started on it, or is that a future?
I got it running and everything. I drove it to the car wash and then around town and then back home. It needs a rear window because it busted out on our way home after we got it off a buddy of mine. And kind of just sits there with a tarp and everything. But it runs good. The interior's about 80%. The seats were good. Just needs a headliner and some other stuff. It's not powerful at any means, but it gets around.
Console automatic, or?
Yeah, it's an automatic.
That'd be pretty cool. What does she want it, or what's the you trying to lean more on the muscle car side of it, or just a little cruiser?
I think she wants a cruiser budget shiny,
Okay.
but it's also a drive as you build kind of thing.
Well, there's a product called Flood Pentrol.
Yeah.
If I don't know what the paint looks like on it now, but if she's undecided on whether it's going to stay that paint or if you're going to paint it eventually, Flood Pentrol is just it's actually a hardener. You're supposed to mix it in before you paint it. But if you can apply it to a sponge and just make long swipes, like all the way down the car, and it kind of makes it somewhere in between shiny Poppy's patina and matte. It's
Okay.
not as shiny, but it's not as dull. And up where y'all are at, it would probably last a while. Down here, it don't last but like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Because, that whole sunshine state thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But Ashley's done it. So, like, Poppy's, I think, is like 60 or $70 to do a car. This
Yeah, something like that.
this quart can is like $16, and we've done Ashley's car probably 5 times. And I still got probably half a thing left of it. And just quick to do it because Ashley doesn't know if she wants to paint it. She doesn't know if she wants to bare metal. She does, and I'm like, well, if you have any thoughts of painting this, let's not do linseed oil. Let's not do anything that I'm gonna have to try to get out of the metal. Or I shouldn't say me.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to try to get out of the metal because I don't paint. I have a
Yeah,
guy.
I'm looking for a product like that for the truck, but I don't want like an oil based one
Yeah,
because wedding dresses and all that, you don't want residue rubbing off on picture people and stuff.
yeah. So I don't have a picture of it, but it's Flood FLOOD Pentrol. And what it's originally designed for was to put in implement paint to harden it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know who tried it on a car first, but I can't take credit for it. I saw it somewhere. And you can brush it on, you can wipe it on. The first time we did it with like paint brushes because it self levels,
Okay.
but you could see where it stopped. Like this stroke stopped and the next one started. You could see that. So then
Oh, like,
the second time, she just took the sponge and poured it out of the jug on the sponge and just walked down the side of the car, like from headlight to tail light, and then went back up there. All right. And it actually, I was like, I come home and I was like, damn, that actually looks good. But
I'll have to look into that.
yeah, you just SOS it, SOS to get like all the grime and stuff out of it. Basically,
Yeah,
make sure that you get all the grime off of it because once you put the stuff on there,
it stays there.
it's on there until the flood control is completely gone. Which there was a couple. I don't know if it's black mold, but like there was a couple black spots underneath her taillights, and she didn't see it, and she went over top of it, and I went, "Oh, that's cool." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "The whole back of your car looks like it's like having a breakout." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'll get it off." And I'm like, "Yeah, good luck." And it's just now
Sealed some
finally starting to
mosses.
fade enough that because everywhere she parks, the back of the car is always up against something. So it's like the last thing
Okay.
it's fighting its way not to want to come off. And I'm like, well, you could SOS it off, I guess, but
I guess so, yeah.
learning experiences.
You'll have a lot of those.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times, we're just winging it. You just
Exactly.
kind of figure it out. So what is one piece of advice that you would give somebody that's trying to get into this car obsession?
Uh, I'd probably say don't be afraid to fail because You can always redeem yourself or make your idea better.
Yep, you either win or you learn.
Exactly. Either you figure it out the first time, or it takes you a few tries and you finally get to where you want it.
And sometimes you can sneak up on stuff too, because you get a lot of a lot of times you're like, oh, I just want it done, I want it done, I want it done, and you get frustrated that it's not. Then that doesn't help. It gets worse, and then corners get cut, and now you're do
Then you gotta
something.
fix it later.
Yeah, you do something to make something happen, and then okay, well, now you get it home, and it takes you a week to unfuck it so you could start over again.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta walk away.
Yep.
Go like, okay, this is not gonna work this way. How can I do it the right way this time?
Yep. Well, before I run through our advertisers, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Probably my family and my wife, because they may not get it completely, but they love me and try to understand when I'm rambling about my vehicles.
Like I said, it's always easier when your significant other at least tolerates it.
Yes.
Well, make sure you go show Why Not Fab some love on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you go check out Throttle Addict. Use the code word Hot Rod. Save 15% off. Johnny Jalopy, Facebook, YouTube, JohnnyJalopy.com. Wrenching for the Future. You check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Psycho Fab. And we definitely want to shout out Mike Rio with Rio's Photography. He is going to be the official photographer of the Hangout 2026. Also, any orders on HotRodHangout.com until the end of the year, you get a free gift, sticker, koozie, something, and any order in January that includes a 2026 Hangout shirt will also come with a free little gift. Till next time, guys, get out and drive your shit. Later.